Hello, it's Sarah here from Equestrian Balance, and it is so hot here. It is just coming into summer. It is getting really warm. Today is going to be 34 degrees, which is the hottest it's been thus far this year, and tomorrow is going to be a whopping 37. So we're bracing ourselves for that. And so I am making the horses some Icypoles. Icypoles are an awesome way to help keep your horses a bit cool, have a nice refreshing treat, and a bit of enrichment, a sensory type of enrichment. So it's engaging their taste and their smell, their temperature sensors in that it's nice and cold for them. And so that's one way I'm going to help them keep lovely and cool tomorrow. So I thought I would share what I'm going to do, how I'm going to make these Icypoles for the horses and what I'm going to put in them so that they are delicious and something that the horses are really drawn to, and so it's going to be really interesting for them, really tasty, and going to help keep them nice and cool. So let's have a look. Here are all my ingredients. I've got some peppermint tea, which is going to flavour the water that I've made the ice block out of. So you could use fruit juice, or you could even just use plain water. Anything that's safe for the horses to have. This is peppermint tea, but you can use any kind of fruit tea or herbal tea. That's safe. I've got some mint leaves here and some chopped up strawberries and some chopped up carrots to put in, and I've also got some grass that I've picked. You can put any fresh fruit or veggie in there that is safe for your horse to eat, that your horse likes. And that's going to be nice and refreshing for them. But if your horse doesn't really get into fruit or veggies, you can just literally pick some grass and even just put grass in water. And that can still be something that they're going to work away and nibble away at to get the grass and get that nice cold water as well while they're at it. All right. Okay, so to start with, I'm going to put some treats at the bottom, a bit of everything in the bottom there. Some mint. There we go, and then I'm going to chuck some grass in each one. Just going to pat it out a bit. In there. Right, put a bit of cold water in just so I don't melt my plastic. Alright, so tea. Right, delicious. Chopping these because I want that lid to go on. Alright, lovely jubbly. Okay, so it's going to go on there. I'm going to chuck these in the freezer. So they are all tucked in the freezer ready to roll, and they should be frozen by tomorrow when it's getting warm, and we'll be able to give them to the horses. I don't know if you can see that, but it is baking hot out there, 36 degrees in the shade. Definitely time to give the horses some Icypoles. So let's see how they've turned out. Whoops. Oh man. One of them's broken on the floor. Don't do that. So, don't overfill your containers. Lesson learned. Luckily this one hasn't exploded. But yeah, the lid on this one's bowed and the bottom on that one's bowed, but they are still intact. We've had one casualty, fell out of the freezer, but I will be able to save the Icypole itself. Alright, so when it first comes out of the container, it's well and truly frozen. It is going to be stuck in that container. Now, if you've got a bit of a distance to travel to go and see your horses, that might melt enough around the outside to just have that slide out. But if they're just outside like mine are, you might want to run a little bit of warm water over that container just to get that to pop out, just to melt enough around the outside, but that's going to pop out. We'll see. Like that. So I didn't need much, and I can see what a beautiful looking Icypole we've created. Look at all that yummy stuff in there. So it's freezing cold, and it's got some lovely grass, carrots and strawberries in there, and some peppermint tea flavour. I'm going to just pop it back in container to carry it over, and we'll get the others ready and we'll go and give them to the horses. Alright, so I've set the buckets up in the shade. There's not a lot of shade here, but this is shade in their paddock. So I've separated them out, so hopefully they're far enough apart that they can just all have their buckets and still all be in the shade. I am going to hang out and supervise them whilst they are eating these, so partly because with any enrichment you really want to supervise it, and partly because they are all going to be 3 in together. Now they are miles away. Let me zoom in and see if you can see them. They are hanging out. We've got roadworks over on the edge of our property, and they are hanging out surveying the roadworks. So I'm going to call them over and we're going to see what happens when I do that, whether they come. Alright, you might want to block your ears for this one. I'm going to blow the whistle. It's going to be pretty loud so they can hear it. And we'll see what they do. Look at them, superstars, not batting an eyelid at that water truck. Oh, here comes Avita. Oh, here they come. This is what positive reinforcement does for your horses, people. This is how you catch horses that are trained with positive reinforcement. They just come running. Look how far away they are. Here they come. Hi, darlings. Good girls. Look what I got for you. Yum yums. Well, you can have one each, darlings. Good girls. Tastes good. Avita's tossed hers out onto the grass, but that's okay. It's on the grass. She's not going to pick up any sand doing this. I'll just keep an eye on where it is. She's having a good go at that now. We've abandoned the bucket idea. So it turns out the horses found them quite difficult to get into the treat. The Icypoles are really hard when I first gave them to them. So in hindsight's a wonderful thing. Maybe letting them melt a little bit more so that the ice, whilst was holding together, was much easier for them to crunch through. Would be a good idea, so that it's not so difficult for them to get the treats, being as this is the first time I've given them these to them in a long while. And so making it easy the first time is always a good idea. So my tip for you, if you're going to try this at home, let them melt a little bit so that their ice is a bit more mushy and not so hard for your horse to get at. We do want them to enjoy the coolness, the icy coolness, and we want them to be able to have the treats and have that little bit of enrichment, but we want to make it easy for them so that they do want to participate, and I think that would be the key there. Meanwhile, it is really warm out here, as you can probably see by the colour of my face. I'm going to go inside, back into the aircon and get nice and cool and leave these guys to their icy poles.